So you want to be a freelance illustrator and designer. What's up? I'm Afton. I'm a 24-year-old full-time freelance illustrator, designer, and founder of my own creative studio, Taffy Studios. And today I'm going to talk about the 10 things I wish I knew before starting freelance. I want to give you guys the shortcut to what I wish I had known so that you guys don't have to go through the same struggles that I did. My first tip is to have an emergency fund and learn financial literacy. I know that learning finances is really boring and probably in high school you did not get taught well, but whenever you go into freelance, you will have to do your own finances. So the first part of that is have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months expenses. Calculate what Tori Dunlap calls your ramen noodle budget, which basically is if you had to eat ramen noodles every single day or something of that nature, and you had to pay rent, you had to pay your loan payments, your car payment, everything like that, how much would you need a month to survive? I like to throw in an extra padding because I don't want to eat cup noodles every day as much as I love them. Sometimes I think it's important to eat a vegetable here and there, but make sure to have 3 to 6 months of living expenses because going into freelance in the beginning is very unstable. It is a roller coaster. You'll have great months where you're like, whoa, I just made like $9,000 this month in one job. And then you'll have really low months where you're like, I just made $50 and that's it. Though I'm not going to go into every aspect of personal finance today, I definitely recommend these books up here. All amazing, interesting books. I listen to the audiobook because I think it makes it more fun. Alright, tip number 2, y'all, is to have a bias towards action. In the beginning, it's really easy to get caught up in overthinking and overplanning and wanting to have your 50-page business plan ready. But in reality, what you start out doing probably won't be what you'll do forever. Similar to how whenever you go into college and you choose a major, you end up changing it like 3 times because you just collect data and learn and grow. Planning can be great, but also sometimes you just have to start messy. Start not ready. And that's okay because starting something, trying something, and failing at it is naturally a part of building a business and growing success. If you weren't failing, I'd honestly be more concerned because that means you're not trying and you're not taking risks. When going into a new project, take the pressure off and think of it like a science experiment. What can I learn from this? What do I think will happen if I try this new thing or that new thing? And then do it, go back, and analyze your data. Tip or lesson, what have I been calling these so far? I don't even remember. You know what, now they're lessons. They're life lessons. Lesson number 3 is to constantly be investing in yourself. Investing in yourself is always worth it. So whether that's reading books about business or about creativity or about finance, or taking courses by studios or artists that you admire, learning from other people who have already gone through all of the challenges and all of the failures that you might go through is just so priceless because that means that in a way you get to skip all of those steps. Like you still will have to put in the work and still will have to face a lot of challenges, but you're more mentally prepared for them. Or you're sharpening a skill that you would really like to learn more about and that would help you in your business. Admittedly, I have gone a bit wild, and I've taken 5 classes within the past 6 months. But long story short, I left my 9-to-5 job and I was just like, I want to be serious about building my business. So I signed up for Chutzpah's freelance and business and stuff class and immediately learned so many things about being a freelancer that would have taken me so much longer to learn. And another huge benefit of taking classes is the network you get from them. Many times you'll have some Slack group or chat channel where you get to like connect with the other students, or if you're going in person, obviously you connect with them there. And having been out of college for the past 2 years, I recognize that one of the most valuable things from it is your network and is the consistent opportunity to talk to people about your projects and to learn from them. I have found so many opportunities that I wouldn't have if I didn't take these classes. My 4th lesson is to create daily habits and systems that ensure that you're keeping on track for your financial, mental, and physical needs. Whenever you are going into freelance, it can be very unstable, so mentally having stable routines that keep you on track is incredibly important. Your routine doesn't have to look like anyone else's routine. For the longest time, I would shame myself for waking up at 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and it would ruin my whole day. I would just kind of beat myself up the whole day, not get anything done, and you know what? That was not helpful or nice. to myself. But now I'm not pressed if I wake up at 9 a.m. So the best routine for you is the one that works for you. Just think about what you want to incorporate into every day. Have that habit tracker. I use a habit tracker on my phone. I have my morning routine where I get up, I make sure to have a nice breakfast, I stretch, listen to music. If I can, I'll do my morning pages and do some meditation. I'm not perfect. I don't do it every day. In the evening, have an hour of winding down where you're maybe not looking at social media and, thinking about how awful the world is. Maybe that's not best for the mental health. And then also, I really suggest having admin days, whether it be a Sunday or a Saturday or whatever works for you, where you go through and you literally do all of those tasks that are just so annoying, but it's all in one day. So you just have to deal with that one day, and you can make it fun too. Find the systems that work for you, stick to them in whatever capacity you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to go to the gym for a whole hour every day and do a whole workout. If you just go and you just walk for 10 minutes and leave, that is good enough. And it's so important that it leads us into lesson number 5, which is that consistency is key. Spending a few minutes on a habit or a goal every single day is miles better than not spending any time on it at all. Bringing up my boy, James Clear, from his blog, he says, in the beginning, there's basically no difference between making a choice that is 1% better or 1% worse. In other words, it won't impact you very much today. But as time goes on, these small improvements or declines compound, and you suddenly find a very big gap between people who make slightly better decisions on a daily basis and those who don't. Here's the punchline. If you got 1% better each day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better by the time you're done. This is why small choices don't make much of a difference at the time, but add up over the long term. Lesson number 6 is that Delulu is the Salulu, and you have to be your biggest supporter. It is so important to surround yourself with friends and family that believe in you. However, the one person you really need believing in you is you. When you're going into a project, but you're telling yourself like, oh, this isn't even gonna work out, no one's gonna like this, no one's gonna watch this video, no one's gonna read this book, then you're just creating so much mental friction that you're not gonna be able to get through it, and it won't be fun, and there's too many stakes on the project, and it's just not gonna get done. Instead, you kind of have to be delusional and be like, you know what? Maybe I do want to write a best-selling novel this year. Maybe I do want to create a $1 million business. And you just have to truly envision that and believe in that. It's like the fuel in the fire that keeps you going. You just have to remind yourself of why you're going after these things. Journaling and asking questions is also a really great way to uncover limiting beliefs you have about yourself that might be holding you back. Even if you're not super into manifestation, just envisioning your current self living your dream reality and just believing that maybe that could actually happen will help you get to your goals so much faster than fighting with yourself every single day. Lesson number 7 is that client relationships are everything. Your clients, your customers, you want to give them the very best experience. If you're a freelancer doing service-based business, such as providing design services, illustration services, any creative service whatsoever, you want to have very clear and also very welcoming communication with your client. When you start a project with someone, you are considered the expert, so it's up to you to create the project pacing and flow. Even if there is a deadline, it's up to you to say, hey, let's touch base at these 5 points, at the sketch phase, at the line work phase, at the color phase, at whatever. And it's up to you to tell them what you need within that process and to establish the meetings. So just kind of understand and know your process, be able to describe that to your client, because a lot of clients aren't creatives and they don't really get how the creative process works. Help demystify that for them. And just the more you communicate them, the more they feel involved with the project, the happier they probably will be, because they won't just be like, oh, you just gave me this random thing out of thin air. No, they will see all the work you put into it and how their input has affected what you give them. Also, what I learned from the Chutzpah classes is to collect client feedback and reviews right after a project's done. If they email you something like, oh my gosh, this turned out amazing, just ask them can I quote you on that for my business? I didn't know to do that for a lot of my early projects, so I've been trying to get reviews for them, and people, honestly, it's just been too long. They are busy or they forget, they don't have the time. So just while it's fresh in their mind and while they feel the excitement, get them to give you a review. Also, after a project's over, you can send them a little gift or a little postcard or something that tells you you appreciate working with them. Lesson number 8 is that warm leads are way better than cold leads. I know there's a lot of value in cold emailing, but at the same time, there's even more value in finding warm leads. I watched this video by Alex Hormozy who said, get out your phone and text a few people you know and say, hey, I am looking for blank work. Do you know 3 people or businesses who are in need of this kind of work? And by asking them, you have an immediate connection to when they answer, yeah, actually, the local bookstore down the street is looking for a social media person, or my friend is looking for a logo for their new business. By having that connection, you know that that person is in need of something versus when you cold email and you have no idea if this business or person is looking for any work. And 2, you can reference that person and say, hey, my buddy of mine knows you and said that you're looking for social media help. I do social media marketing. How can I help you? I did this one day and I ended up getting like 3 solid leads. Now, did all of them work out? No, but it is so much more than I got cold emailing 10 businesses, who honestly never emailed me back. That being said, cold emailing isn't totally awful. I actually created one of my best connections by cold emailing. However, I think what made it stand out was that it was personal and that it was a local business. And actually from that email, the next week I met up with the co-owner of the bookstore who happened to be a designer and we just really connected. That was last September, like 7 months ago. And now I am doing retainer work for them. I have made a sweatshirt for them. So you really never know what reaching out to people can lead to. It's definitely worth it to try both cold and warm, DMing, emails, everything, but just know that if you have a warm lead, your likelihood of getting work from it is significantly higher. Also, similar to my point of like keeping good client relationships, a lot of times your high value work will come from repeat clients or clients referring you to their friends. We're almost through the video, guys. I really hope that you have been able to learn something or take something out of this because genuinely, like, these are things that took me the past 2-3 years to learn, and I'm still trying to fully learn all of these things and put them into practice, but hopefully this has given you some shortcut to starting your freelance business. If it has, please like this video and subscribe down below. I definitely plan to make more videos about being a freelancer, starting my own business, and just overall my creative journey. So if you're interested in seeing that, subscribe and feel free to comment anything you would like to see in the future because it's always good to know what would be helpful for you guys. Lesson number 9 is that networking is essential. Whenever I was in school and I heard the word networking, it just sounded like so yucky and gross. Like, oh, what, you want me to meet people with the intention of using them and like just tossing them aside? And it's really like not that. It's just kind of about like finding your own friend group and like community. Whenever you're in school, one of your biggest assets is that network of people you have in school that you can talk to and that can give you critique or advice and that can keep you accountable. People that you can learn and grow from. Whenever you leave school, you don't have that anymore. So it's so important to find your own group of people who are more established in their careers or who are starting the same journey as you. It's not about using people. It's not about competition. Maybe there's some friendly competition, but more so it's about just inspiring each other. And if that person sees an opportunity that's perfect for you, they can tell you and they can like refer you for that opportunity. Even though it seems like having more creative friends would be competing with each other, most of my jobs have come from other creative people referring me for something or sharing an opportunity with me. And those are the kind of people you want to surround yourself with anyway, the people who want you to succeed. Participate in local events or even like join like a design or like illustration board. Last August, I joined the AIGAKC board as an associate of programming, and it's been a lot of fun, honestly. Like, yes, it's volunteer and, it takes up a few hours out of my month, but really, like, I genuinely enjoy like going out to the coffee events, to the cocktail events, and like hanging out with people. For the longest time, I did not think of myself as a designer because I didn't know Adobe Illustrator until like last year, and I didn't study graphic design in college. I thought that AIGA was not for me and that everyone in there was like way more talented and knowledgeable than I was. But then you go in and you realize that everyone is super nice and you actually want to be surrounding yourself with people who are more knowledgeable than you, so then you can learn from them. Lesson number 10 is whether you're a service, a content, or a product-based business, you're gonna wanna make the work that you wanna sell. I know this seems super obvious, but whatever you make and put out there and show the world is the work that you will be attracting. Of course, in the beginning, you're gonna have to do jobs that you don't love, to make money. Like, that is totally understandable. So I'm not saying to like say no to every project that's not perfectly aligned with your goals, but if you are finding that you're getting more projects that you don't want or clients from industries that you don't want, then create your own projects and put them on your portfolio. portfolio. Personal projects are a great way to conceptualize something and see it through from start to finish. You're making work that's enjoyable, that's fun, and I feel like a lot of times too, like whenever you have work on your portfolio that you genuinely loved making, people can see that. They can sense the energy. You just create differently. So yeah, if you say like want to be a logo designer but are only getting email marketing jobs, then create your own fake business and make a logo for it. If you want to be an actor, make a film and cast yourself in it. If you want to be a children's book illustrator, write your own book and illustrate it. Not only does this expand your range because you can do multiple steps within that process, you've also just opened a door for yourself instead of waiting around for someone else to open it for you. You don't have to showcase every client project you've done if it's not the kind of work you want to attract. It is important to show client work because it shows that you can work with like other people, but definitely show off your own personal work too. Editing Afton here. My mic died like in the middle of recording, but I was pretty much done talking about that topic, but basically just like make artwork that you enjoy. I know it's easy to just kind of, because this is what I did, I know it's easy to just kind of take any job, honestly, that comes your way whenever you're trying to start out and you're trying to just survive and make money. And I think something I'm trying to work on is just reconnect with my own personal work again. And like, I'm 2 years out of school and there's so much that I'm still trying to figure out and there's so much that I'm learning. So, you know, it's fun and it's a good journey. It's stressful and it definitely will give you a headache, but it's a great journey if you want to pursue freelance and working for yourself and being your own boss and trying to be a nice boss to yourself. Anyway, guys, thanks so much if you made it through this whole entire video. I know I kind of sounded like a robot. It's because I haven't like made a YouTube video in a while and I'm just like, how do I talk to a camera? How do I sound professional? So yeah, just let me know what you guys would like to see in the future. And I kind of just want to show my own journey and my findings trying to be a professional creative person. Thanks so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.